So basically, how this is gonna go, this devil tier list is Want is gonna be like the best devil items. Like these are devil items that you would almost always take from Devil Room. Like these are insanely good. It's easily worth committing to devils for the rest of the run. Commit is just exactly what it is. This is an item that's good enough that you're like, okay, I'm willing to commit to devils for the rest of the run for this item. Good is typically something that you would only take if you're already committed to devil rooms. I wouldn't necessarily let this be my first devil item. Because when you take your first devil item, that's a big commitment. You're stuck on devils for the rest of the run, and it's harder to get healthy because you have to pay for everything. So the item you're taking first needs to be pretty good. Is kind of the same. Just, these are items that, even if I'm already committed, I would probably not take. Unless I, like, literally am 12 hearts, I don't care, and I just want it. And then I Hate Health is literally... You would only take this if you just want to get rid of health. That's the only reason. We'll start with Too Spooky. Too Spooky I'll put in Too Spooky isn't, like, the worst. You could... I almost want to put it in I Hate Health, but I don't think it's quite that bad. I don't know. Like, having this early is kind of nice, but I would never commit for it, so maybe... You could argue this goes down here. I'll put it in I Hate Health. I would never buy this, pretty much. 7 Seals is good. Definitely good. And yeah, by the way, the HP cost of these is going to heavily impact where they go. We're not ranking these in a vacuum. How much they cost matters a lot. We're taking these from the Devil Room, specifically. So this is only 1 heart for a pretty strong familiar. That it can attack stuff anywhere in the room and gives you good flies. And the flies give you instant damage at the beginning of every room, which is quite nice. So this is one that I would typically take if I'm already committed. This is quite good. Abaddon is like more situational because if you have a lot of red health, I'm way less likely to take this. But typically, if I'm already committed, I'm fine with taking this. So we'll put that in good. Abyss? Ooh, Abyss probably goes commit. Abyss is really good. Like, Abyss is one of those items that, with only Abyss, nothing else, you can win the entire run pretty comfortably. This is really, really, really nice. Plus, this only costs 1 heart, I believe, which is insane. That is absolutely nuts. But it is worth mentioning, I have not played Repentance Plus. This tier list is based on only Repentance. I haven't played the beta yet. So, Abyss has been nerfed pretty significantly in Repentance Plus. So, I don't know if I would put it up here in that version of the game. But in Repentance, I would say commit for sure. Pound of Flesh, I Hate Health. I mean, this is like maybe the worst one. This makes it so hard to get healthy because you can't buy soul hearts from the shop anymore. Every time you buy a soul heart from the shop, you lose a soul heart, so it's just net even. This is horrible. And Quarter's pretty bad too. I mean, if you desperately need the money, I guess, but like if you're like looking in the basement 2 at Devil Room, you're not gonna take a quarter, man. Like, I don't know what would have to be in the shop for you to take a quarter. It'd have to be like Stopwatch or something, and even then, I think a Thame is gonna go in I feel like this is like kind of overrated. I don't know. This doesn't do, like, it's helpful, but it's more like, it just supplements your build a little bit. I don't know, like, it's not gonna do a lot for you by itself, I feel like. But this is borderline. This could easily go good. It is only 1 heart, which is really good. The cost is nice. I'll put it good. If I'm already committed, I'm usually buying this. I'll put it in good. That's fine. Zazel's Rage is borderline. I hate this item. This item is so bad. The damage it does is way too little. Like, You could say, like, oh, it makes every, what, like, 4th, 5th room, whatever it is, free. But it doesn't even do that much damage. And if you save it for the boss, it's probably not even going to kill the boss. Even in, like, caves or whatever. This does so little. Like, paying for this, I don't know, dude. I would never do that. I'll put Berserk in eh. Berserk is cool. I do like Berserk. It's just like, I don't know. As far as active items go, I would almost never, like, specifically want this. Especially since you always spawn with an active item on Eden. Like, you would have to give up the active item you already have, pay a heart, commit to Devils to this. Like, this just never really works out in Devil Room. I feel like it never makes sense. I'd rather just wait, even if my active item is bad, I'd rather just wait and potentially get a good one than pay for this. Betrayal will go eh, too. I mean, Betrayal, it does so little. It really is just something like, I have so many hearts. It's pretty late in the game. I'm just gonna take it since I'm already committed to Devil. It's pretty bad. Where does Black Powder go? This is borderline for me. I think this goes in eh. I don't think it's quite bad enough to go in I Hate Health. This can help you a little bit, but it's really hard to make this work in combat. It really, really is tough. But, I mean, in some rooms, if you have time before stuff gets to you, and you can make a quick circle, or in some boss fights it can be nice. I wouldn't say this is a complete waste if you have the HP and all that, but typically you're not going to be getting this. Blood Oath? Blood Oath is tough. I've found myself taking Blood Oath more often than not, but that's from Curse Rooms specifically. From Devil Rooms, I don't know how much that would change things. I don't know. This is a tough one. I do like this item, actually. I'm probably going to put this in eh. It's borderline, though. You could easily argue this goes in I Hate Health. But, like, this item has a lot of synergies, even with other items in the Devil Room. I mean, these two in particular, these two items, if you have either of these with Blood Oath, I mean, it's going to be doing a lot. Because you're instantly going to be getting that giant bonus every single floor. Or even, like, Cambion Conception synergizes really well. Like, I honestly don't mind this item. I mean, if you have Dark Bum, you got like Fanny Pack or Shard of Glass or Old Bandage or anything like that. Like, this is gonna be doing kind of decent. I'll put it in eh. Book of the Dead. I mean, it's another active item. Like, paying for active items from the Devil Room is really sad. It's really, really sad. But this is one of the better ones you could get. I would put this in good. Like, if I'm already committed and I need a good active item, this can give you a lot of protection and a decent amount of DPS with the skeletons that it summons. Oh yeah, I kind of glazed over the Bloody Gust and Bloody Lust. I mean, these are pretty much the same. I would say Bloody Gust is probably a bit better, but when you take damage, you get a buff for the floor. That's kind of it. These are good, but I wouldn't commit for these. I really, really wouldn't. Brim Bombs. I'll put Brim Bombs in good. It gives you 5 bombs, which is nice, and the bomb effect is pretty strong. But, I don't know, like... It makes using multiple bombs at the same time in combat really difficult, because the Brimstone pushes other bombs. So you have to, like, really space out your bomb placements, which makes it really awkward and slow to use compared to just, like, normal bombs even. But I think it's worth it overall. You have the health. It's only 1 heart. So Brimstone is a tough one. I'm not sure if Brimstone goes once. Brimstone is extremely expensive. It's 2 hearts, which that is a steep, steep cost. But, I mean, it's spectral, it's infinite range, it's good damage. This is tough. Like, if I see Brimstone and I'm, like, on the weaker side, I'm typically not gonna take it. but I would be willing to commit for it, depending on my health. I wouldn't like, I wouldn't reach for it, I don't think. So I'll leave it in commit, actually. This is quite good, but yeah, I don't think it's quite in want. Brother Bobby is good, I would say. Well, I'll put it in good. Brother Bobby does a decent amount of damage, actually. Like, Brother Bobby, he shoots really fast. He's only 1 heart. Like, if you're already committed and you need some extra DPS, he's not bad. He's part conjoined, which is really good. Cambion. This is maybe my favorite devil item. Cambion Conception. This item is insane. So we'll get to Twisted Pair and Incubus and all that later, but this is just that, but better, basically. Because this is a lot easier to proc than Immaculate Conception, I would say, because Immaculate Conception, it's just based on how many hearts you've picked up. This is based on how many times you take damage. So every single half heart of damage you take, it counts as a proc, which is super good. And you're taking damage constantly from just playing Blood Donos and all that. And this, the pool of familiars this gives you compared to Immaculate is insane. Like, you got Dark Bum, you got Little Brim. The worst ones you can get are like Demon Baby and Leech, basically. I mean, Little Abaddon is in there. It's a really cheap way to get Incubus and Twisted Pair. I believe Succubus is in there too. Succubus is insanely good. Like, this is the best familiar item in the Devil Pool easily. Like, it's, for 1 heart, it's such a cheap way to get such good familiars. Even though you can only get 4 of them from the pool, like, a lot of the time you're gonna, like, you could get Demon Baby, you could get Leech, and you could get all the crappy ones. Like, Dark Bum is on the lower side, I would say, but still quite good. But even if you low roll completely, you're still gonna get, like, 1 good one if you fully pay it out. This item is insane. I will definitely put this in commit. Ceremonial Robes, I will put good. I will almost never commit for this. Like, even though it's like kind of net positive on health, it's not great. Like, 2 red hearts for 3 black hearts. You need to be pretty desperate to commit to this, in my opinion. The damage up is nice, but I think you would rather just have the red hearts or just not even go devil for it at all. This is not great. I'll put it in good. If I'm already committed for it, or if I'm already committed, I'll take it, but I won't commit for it. Contract from Below is gonna go in Like, this is a good resource generator, but, I mean, yeah, paying a heart for it is so rough. I'm almost never gonna do that. Damocles is god-awful. I mean, if we're talking specifically for Eden Streaking, this is just so bad. You pay 2 hearts for this, for, like, a useless item that will get you killed. This is so bad. Easily F tier. Dark Arts is rough. I think it goes commit. This is an insanely broken active item. Like, this makes a room clear completely free. It gives you free curse rooms. It lets you open spiky chests for free. You can walk across spikes. It does a lot for you as far as health generation goes for very cheap. It's only 1 heart. And yeah, everything it does for you as far as room clear, it's saving you a lot of health there. This is a lot of the time worth it to commit for. How about Dark Bum? Dark Bum is rough, man. Because Dark Bum is consistent health generation. But I don't know if I would commit for him necessarily. I think he goes good. This is very borderline, though. This could if there was a tier between these, it would go in that tier, because it's kind of situational whether I would commit or not. Like, if there's a lot of red hearts on the floor where I see it in the Devil Room, there's a good chance I'll just immediately commit to it. Like, you see one of the secret rooms with all the red health. That gives you a lot of instant value, which is really good. But typically, I would not commit to Devils for this. Dark Matter, or whatever this is called, pretty bad. Just a damage up for a red heart, which is really not doing that much for you. The fear effect can be helpful, but usually not. Put this down in eh. Dark Prince's Crown, I hate health. It's so specific. If you specifically have one red heart and you really need the help for the next floor, you could argue this goes in eh. But I would really say this is just a waste more often than not. Dead Cat is like the perfect item to put in good, because this item does a ton for you if you're already committed to devils. Like, it can effectively get you health, get you free devils, all that stuff. But I don't think I would necessarily commit for this. Because unless you're, like, committing for this and something else really strong, and you're getting them both for cheap at the same time because of this, I really wouldn't commit for this by itself. But it is a good item for sure. Put it in good. Onto Death's List. Death's List is pretty decent. If you can get this early on, like if you see this Basement 2 Devil, this can be really good. Like, arguably commit, because this is really good resource generation. It can give you soul hearts. It can get you stats occasionally. Like, you could definitely argue this goes in commit, but otherwise, I wouldn't really, like, go out of my way to get this. But I think that goes in good. Death's Scythe. I mean, this is one that's so expensive for what it does. This thing is 2 hearts, which is nuts. The tears down makes the damage up. Like, the damage up is still worth it overall, but, like, it's not as good as it seems. The piercing is great, the big tears are nice. But I don't know if you would necessarily commit for this, because it doesn't do that much for you by itself. Especially compared to these items up here, so I think this just goes in good. Like, if your tears are already relatively weak, and you're not really relying on them, this is going to be doing almost nothing for you. If your tears are strong, I don't know if you would commit for this in the first place. That and good. Demon Baby? I'll put this in eh. I don't think it's quite like a complete waste of health. If you want it, but you would almost never buy this. Really. Like, you would just want to have health to throw away, for the most part. Alright, and here is the first item we're going to put in Want. Want is going to be a very small tier, by the way. Duality is probably... I would say this is probably the best devil item, which is funny, because the whole point of Duality is it's the best devil item because it makes it so you don't go devil rooms anymore. It makes it so you can go angel rooms for the rest of the run for only 1 heart. Like, this is almost always completely worth it. If I'm peaking Basement 2 Devil, this is what I want to see. This is exactly what I want to see. Assuming I can afford it. Sometimes this costs 3 soul hearts, which is rough. But if you can get this for the 1 red heart cost, this is insanely good. Always want to see this when I go devil. How about Empty Vessel? Empty Vessel's pretty decent. So I like Empty Vessel because it's 1 heart for 2 black hearts, which is pretty good, actually. Like, as far as gaining a little bit of health in exchange for red hearts, this is probably the best item to do it with. Like, compared to Ceremonial Robes. Ceremonial Robes is only +1. It's only +1, and it costs 2. But this is +1 and it costs 1. Like, that's really solid. Plus, the flight can be nice. The flight is relatively easy to activate because you don't need to have no red hearts or red heart containers. You just need to have all your red heart containers be empty. So if there's like a blood donor or something, you can easily trigger that flight and get a bunch of value throughout the floor. Like this, I really do like Empty Vessel. This is a solid item, I would say. Not to mention the shield stuff and all that you can abuse really easily. This is really nice. And Eye of Belial. Man, I love Eye of Belial. This thing costs 2, but it's so good. I would say this is way better than Death's Touch, dude. Death's Touch wishes it was Eye of Belial. Eye of Belial, it makes it so you have piercing, and after your tier pierces something, it gets double damage, which is so good. I believe it's double damage. It's a damage increase. There's a decent amount of time where I would commit for this. It makes your tier so strong. Like, the room clear is insane. It's not as great against bosses, but I mean, a lot of bosses spawn enemies, and any boss that's spawning enemies, this is just gonna annihilate. So, especially like mid-game bosses, they just spam enemies. This will just destroy them. I love this item. I have the Occult. Dude, I never use this. I literally never use this item. I could probably count on one hand the amount of time I've bought this from a Devil Room. Isn't it like a tears up and a damage up, and it makes your tears a remote control? Like, it is good. Admittedly, I don't really know where I should rank this, because I never use this thing. This might go commit. I'm just going to put it in good. I've almost never committed to Devils for this, but it might be worth it. I really... I don't have a good opinion on this item, admittedly. We'll just put it in good for now. False PhD, I will put in commit. I mean, this is similar to Dark Bum. It's pretty consistent health generation, but it can also give you some good stat ups, which is nice. And I really like that this gives you a black heart on pickup. Like, even getting a little bit of health on pickup from items like this goes a long way, because it just lets you, like, kind of get the ball rolling, which is really helpful. So I think this definitely goes commit. I've committed to Devils a few times for this. It is quite good. Forget Me Now, I will put in good. I mean, being able to repeat a floor is super nice, but I mean, unless you're really consistent at the Forget Me Now trick, you're potentially giving up your active item. Even if you are good at it, you'll miss sometimes. You're risking your active item. So if your active item is already quite good, this isn't the best. But I mean, paying 1 heart to redo an entire floor is an insane amount of value. This is really, really, really great. I would say, like, it is specifically kind of worse for Eden because you always have an active item, basically. But this is a pretty solid one. Jello? Dude. I don't get the Jello hype. I don't get it. Jello is not that great. Like, 2 charge is really nice, but it doesn't do enough by itself. It's way too reliant on your tears. Anything that's, like, completely reliant on your tears and doesn't do that much by itself is just like, oh my god. It's so bad in my eyes. Like, this is not reliable, I would say. If your tiers are already really great and you don't have an active item and you're already committed to Devil, maybe this makes sense. But that is like, that is narrowing down the scenarios more and more and more. I would put this in eh. I almost never buy this. For 1 heart, this is just a waste. Ghost Baby. Ghost Baby is pretty good. I don't think it's quite as good as Brother Bobby. DPS is quite a bit lower, I want to say. Spectral's cool, but yeah, I would almost never pay for this unless I'm just chilling on health and I want a little extra damage. Gimpy is really nice. I mean, you get those extra half-heart drops from killing enemies, which can be really good, depending on some other stuff that you have. I mean, this synergizes with a lot of stuff in here. I mean, Cambion Conception for one, Dark Bomb for another. And sometimes getting those soul hearts when you take damage is just so nice. Like, it almost synergizes with itself as far as Blood Donos go, because it makes you have way more health for the Blood Dono, and when you're playing the Blood Dono, you're getting soul hearts. And all for 1 heart, this is pretty solid. This could almost go and commit. I've committed for this a few times, but unless you have like a very specific synergy with it, I would say it just goes in good. Just by itself, nothing else, I don't think it goes in a good. And Goat Head. Oh man. Goat Head is rough. Like, it's really tempting to put this in commit, but the problem is, Like, Go Ahead is a slippery slope, dude. It doesn't do anything for you immediately. And then once you take it, I mean, you're just stuck on devils forever unless you sacrifice or use a confessional or something. So every single floor, you're just whittling your health down and down and down and down. Like, I almost never commit to this unless I'm insanely healthy. But if I'm already committed, it's really nice. I don't think this even goes in commit. I'm just gonna put this in good. Like, this is rough to take from a devil room, man. If you're seeing this in a curse room, it's completely broken because you can get the key pieces and use donation machine to always be getting in the angel room. But if this is always getting you devil, you have to pick very carefully what you're buying. It's almost not, it's just not the best. Like, the way devils are spread out already almost works out just as well, I feel like, because it spreads out the devil rooms so you can like kind of build up some health and then you're good to buy something and then you can build up health again. But this, it just spreads you so thin if you want to be buying some good stuff. It's not as good as it seems, I feel like. Guppy's Collar is pretty bad. I mean, unless you're specifically really close to Guppy, this is doing almost nothing for you. Guppy's Eye, I would say, is good. This makes it easy to get soul hearts, especially if you're going to like Mausoleum and stuff, because there's so many like purple fires, blue fires. You can really just get that health back immediately. But I don't think I would commit for this necessarily. Guppy's Hairball is fine. It'll do a bunch of damage to stuff that's behind you. You can use it to like, you can like stand behind it to block tears, which is kind of nice, but this is really doing very little for you. It's just a Guppy piece if you want it. Same with Guppy's Head. I mean, Guppy's Head. This goes extra for Guppy's Head because it's not even a passive. It's a really crappy active item. You spawn like, what, 2 to 4 flies every room? That's really not doing very much for you. It's just a Guppy piece. And you almost would never even bring this with you. If you have a half-decent active item. Guppy's Paw, though. Guppy's Paw is nuts. Like, this almost goes in Want. In fact, this probably does go in Want. This item is broken, man. Giving 1 red heart for 3 soul hearts, especially in the context of going devil, is so crazy, man. Like, the amount of health this gets you is nuts. Like, you could just buy this, take no more devil rooms, or no more devil items, and you're just gonna be healthy the rest of the run if you're half decent. You almost don't even need to take devil rooms after this. Like, this item is ridiculously broken. Tripling your health, or tripling the value of your red hearts, effectively. Just so insane. It's so hard to die with this item. This definitely goes in Want. Hard not to compare Guppy's Head with Rotten Baby, which is 10 times better. That's true. Yeah. That is fair. Alright. Guppy's Tail is pretty good. I do like this item. Like, if you're heavy on keys, this can get you a decent amount of value, because golden chests, there's a couple things that give you health in there. And just having resources gets you health in general. I do like this item. It's a little bit situational, though. It really depends on how many Guppy pieces you have, how many keys you have, that kind of stuff. But if I'm committed to Devil, I'm almost always taking this. It's really nice. Headless Baby will put in Like, I like Headless Baby in the context of the early game. Like, spawning with Headless Baby, or just having it, I can't remember if this is an item pool, but yeah, just having it for like basement is so nice. It just kills everything that's chasing you, which is most enemies. But like, if we're talking about like getting it as early as possible from Devil, which is basement 2, you're not gonna be buying this. And then past that point, it does almost nothing. Like, even taking this into caves, it's doing almost nothing. Or Downpour. This is a conjoined piece. You want conjoined, you take this, really. I wouldn't put it in I hate health though. Man, Heartbreak. Heartbreak is rough. I don't use this enough, but I almost always buy it when I'm going Devil. I think this goes good. I don't know if I would commit to Devil for this necessarily, but the revives this gives you are really nice, actually. It gives you a couple Broken Hearts right from the beginning, which gives you a tiny damage up, but I would say that's not really relevant. The more relevant part is just the revives, the extra safety net. So I don't think I would commit for this necessarily, but this is definitely good. Dude, Hungry Soul. This item is crazy. These things do so well against all rooms, a lot of bosses, any boss that spawns anything. Because they do consistent damage and then they explode. This item is pretty nice. Like, I do see myself committing for this quite a bit when I see it. For only 1 heart, this is so nice. Incubus, okay. This is where there's probably going to be a lot of disagreement with me here. But Incubus is really bad. Like, this thing costs 2 hearts, and it's based completely on your tiers. So if you're weak, this is doing nothing for 2 hearts. That is so expensive, man. That is crazy. Like, you already have to be so strong and so healthy for this to make any sense to take. This item is just not it, man. It's just not. I would rather have Brother Bobby than this, because Brother Bobby has his own decent damage and is half the price. Like, Brother Bobby versus Incubus early on? I'll take Brother Bobby, dude. This is not it. This is not it, man. That's going in eh. Hey, how about Judas Shadow? I do like this quite a bit. I do buy this most of the time when I see it, even if I'm not committed already. Like, having the extra life, I love the extra life. That's my favorite part of it. But if you get revived, you have double damage, which is cool. You're down to 2 soul hearts immediately, which is rough. So you want to make sure if you're gonna die, you have like some... if you're dying, you need to stop picking up health and just die. Just commit to the death and just pick up the health afterwards, so you have the double damage. But then even after that, you can't pick up red hearts anymore, which is pretty rough. Like, I almost never use the life for this. I just buy it to have the extra life, because I really like having extra lives. But yeah, I'll typically commit for this. This is quite good. Ooh. Man, this is one of those items where I wish I had made like a cop-out tier where I don't have to rank it. Lemageddon, is that how you say it? Man, this item, it's so hard to rank, dude. I mean, I literally cannot rank this. I'm copping out. This might be alone down here, but I don't know where to rank this, man. This item can completely carry you, but it's kind of scary, like, getting bad wisps. It only costs 1 heart, though. For what it does with 1 heart, it's nuts. Like, in the context of a really big streak, I'm almost, like, scared to use it. Even if I spawn with it, I don't really use it unless I really have to. So, this is a rough one, man. I really have not used this enough. I cannot rank this, unfortunately. Alright, how about Little Abaddon? Little Abaddon is nuts, man. Like, I would say this goes commit. This is really similar to Little Brim. I would say Little Brim is a bit better, because you got that range. Like, in big rooms, especially in Mausoleum, there's some really awkward big rooms that you can surgically take care of from very far away. This is really, really good. But Little Abaddon has that DPS, especially early game. Like, if you're getting this from Basement 2 Devil, this is gonna make caves so easy, because everything that's chasing you just dies. It's relatively easy to get it close to enemies that aren't chasing you, just to get those couple ticks on it to kill it. And this is really easy to use against any like mid and even late game boss. These are super, super nice familiars. If you need the DPS, these are worth committing for. Little Brim got the streak out of a very rough spot at one point. Yeah, the roughest spot we've been in. Little Brim. Of course, we didn't pay for it at that point, but yeah. All right, Little Delirium. Okay. Okay. I know this is crazy. The Little Delirium is actually busted. So this is more a hypothetical situation if you're on a really big streak. You really don't want to die, and you see this on Basement 2 or whatever. Little Delirium is broken. Before every single room, you can wait until you get a really good familiar. So you can wait until it gives you Super Meat Boy, Seraphim, Little Brim, anything like that. Like, the fact that you can clear every single room with Meat Boy, and then, like, start a boss fight with Meat Boy, and then just, like, kind of coast with whatever familiar it turns into after that. If you need something that's going to get you through, this is worth committing for if you're willing to wait for it. This familiar is busted. But unless you're really weak, you're not really going to be doing that. I'm putting it in commit based on that, like, really specific point where you're the weakest. If you're strong, it doesn't matter as much. But I care the most about scenarios where you are very weak, personally. Lord of the Pit, this item is gross, dude. 2 hearts for flight and speed? Ugh. What the hell is this? I don't understand this item, dude. Why is it 2 hearts? It makes no sense to me. I don't get it. This goes in eh. This ain't it, man. You really want flight that bad, you're gonna pay 2 hearts for it? No way. How about Lusty, or Bloody Lust? No, Lusty Blood. This is Bloody Lust. This is Lusty Blood. I really like this item. I think it's quite good. I don't know if it goes commit necessarily. I think I'll put this in good. It's borderline though. I almost want to put this in commit, but I don't think it's quite that great. Just the problem is you need to kill you need to kill something for it to be doing something in every single room. So if you can kill one thing quick enough, it's doing really great. Like, you ramp up strength throughout the room. But, like, let's say you take this on Basement 2. You're going into caves. You're getting rooms with, like, very tanky enemies. Like, globlins, or whatever they're called. The glob guys that revive. Rooms like that, where it's, like, a bunch of, like, beefier enemies, where it's hard to kill one very quickly if you're weak. This is doing nothing for you, really. Like, I don't know. Typically, I'm most likely to take this if I already have a bit of put-down power. If I'm completely weak, I'm probably just not even going to take this, because it's going to be doing nothing, which is... It's kind of weird to think about, but it really does work that way. It's still helpful in boss fights, because like we've established, most bosses, especially mid-game, are going to be spawning a bunch of bullshit the whole time, so it's going to make the boss fight very easy. But I would honestly just rather have the 2 hearts and still have the angel chance than take this thing. I'll take this if I'm already committed. Ooh, Maw of the Void. So I think this is pretty much in the same camp as Brimstone. I would say this is better than Brimstone for sure. I don't know if it's necessarily in want. It's close though. Like, this is probably the closest thing in this tier to want. I mean, this is so good. The DPS this does is insane. Like, it scales off of your damage, but even if you're weak, it does so much. And it's additional to your tiers, which is so nice. It anti-synergizes with other things that charge. Like, if you already have, I don't know, like chocolate milk or something like that, you probably don't want this. But other than that, I mean, this item This is just gonna win you the entire run. I would say this is better than Brim. Love Maw of the Void. I'll put that up in Want. Mega Blast. This item gets a surprising amount of hate. Like, I am regularly surprised by how much people dislike this item. It costs 1 heart. That's what makes this item for me. This item, it's really rare, so I think people forget that it's only 1 heart. Like, this for 1 heart is pretty good. A 1 heart active item that's gonna kill every single boss every floor, and maybe do some room clear if you needed to. That's pretty good, man. I would commit to this, like, a lot of the time. I like this. I don't understand the hate this gets, really. If this was 2 hearts, that would be a completely different story, but it's so inexpensive. So nice. Alright, I mean, this, like, what the hell is this? You're literally trading a red heart for a black heart. That's all this is. This is so bad. What is this? Mom's Knife, I mean, obviously, this is gonna go up in Want. This is, like, the definition of you win as far as tiers go. There's almost no time I'm gonna be not taking this. If I'm not taking this, that means my tiers are already insanely broken, and, like, I'm gonna win anyway. If I have nothing, this is just so good. It is kind of pricey at 2 hearts, same with Maw of the Void, but if you can reach a little bit for it, it's so worth it. Money equals power is really, really just going in good. I mean, this is a decent damage up a lot of the time, but it's not that good. I would never have this be my first devil item, unless I'm, like, already later in the game and I have a ton of money. But at that point, like, there's not that many deals left anyway. This is really just the kind of item you would only take if you're already committed. I mean, dude, what? Is this still in the Devil Room? What the hell is this? I don't even know if this is still in there. Like, this is so bad. This is so bad. It makes it still is in Devil Room? Well, dude, what? This is disgusting. No, you would never buy this. Come on. If you need Bookworm and you hate health, you would buy this. It's so garbage. Multidimensional Baby is pretty bad. Like, if I see this in the item room, I'm like, oh, cool, okay, I shoot through it, I do double damage. That's nice. But I'm not paying for this. Paying a heart for this? No way. My Shadow. Okay, yeah, my Shadow is going here as well. This is an item that it has insanely high highs, but if you don't have an insane synergy with it, it's like doing almost nothing. I wish it traveled a little bit more delayed behind you. I feel like that would be a good change for this item almost. I would have liked to see this one changed, I'm not gonna lie to you. But, I mean, if you have Unicorn Stump, if you have Dark Arts, anything that lets you just be touching the enemy, this will melt everything in like 5 seconds. No matter what boss it is. It's so broken. But yeah, just by itself, pretty bad. Pretty bad. Okay, so Ocular Rift. That is what this is called, right? Ocular Rift. This got a big buff in Repentance Plus. This only costs 1 heart in Repentance Plus, which is crazy. I can't believe they made that change. Buffing something from costing 2 to costing 1 is one of the biggest buffs you could give the item. It's nuts. But, of course, this is just a Repentance list, not Repentance Plus, so it costs 2 hearts in this list. I would almost never buy this. Like, it can do quite a bit by itself. The effect is strong, it does good damage, but, like, it gets goofy. And it's so pricey. I would almost never buy this. But at 1 heart, man, I could see this going up, like, a lot. At least to good. Because this item is pretty... If you have the health and you're willing to put up with some goofiness as far as enemy movement and stuff, this can do a lot for you. But for now, we'll put it in A. What about Ouija board? This got a buff and it gives tears now. But, I mean, it's just tears and spectral. I mean, you're not going to commit for this. This is the kind of thing you're already committed for it. That ain't good. Pentagram? Dude. I mean, this goes in good as well. This is like... I don't know, does this even go in good? I feel like this goes in eh. I don't know, it's better than Dark Matter, for sure, because it's part Leviathan, which is, like, nice. Not that relevant, but it's a nice bonus. The main good thing that this does extra is the extra deal chance. The extra deal chance is quite nice, actually. If I'm already committed, I'm almost always buying this. But maybe I'd move Dark Matter up. Like, these aren't different damage numbers, right? I feel like this is so much better than this for some reason, but that might just be, like, some bias I have here. I don't know. I'll leave this here for now, but there's a bit of inconsistency here, logic-wise, I think. We'll leave it as is, though. Plan C, I mean, like, what the hell? Why is that even in here? How about Purgatory? I'll put Purgatory in good. Be glad Plan C is in there. Why is that? Something like Fear can make enemy movement unpredictable, which is no bueno for you? Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a downside for it. It was everywhere else when Afterbirth Plus was current. This is a low weight, which is cool. But yeah, Purgatory. We'll just put this in good. It's nice. It's nice supplementary DPS. It's not super reliable by itself, because you got to be running around in goofy spots in the rooms, and if your damage is low, this scales off of your damage pretty heavily, I would say. It's not going to be one-shotting a lot of stuff, so it's not super reliable on its own. It's more of like a supplementary type thing. But as far as that goes, it's pretty nice. It destroys tears with the explosions, which is cool against like some late-game bosses. But yeah, I wouldn't commit for this necessarily. Razor, I mean, like, dude, you're gonna pay a heart for this? No, you're not doing that. Rotten Baby definitely goes commit, I would say. There's a lot of times the problem with Rotten Baby is it relies heavily on your damage. Like, if your damage is really, really bad, you would not commit for this. Like, if you watch a recent run we had, I'm pretty sure we saw this in a Devil Room, and I didn't take it because I had like 2.5 damage or something. Some ridiculously low number where I'm like, man, this is going to be doing almost nothing. There's no point in taking this. But if you have even a bit of damage, not bare minimum, this is doing a ton for you. The DPS this puts out is nuts. And yeah, you don't even have to aim it. This is really nice. For 1 heart, this does a lot for you. You just need to have a little bit of damage for it, is the only thing. Sack Halter? This is so situational, man. Like, if you have familiars you want to get rid of, for 1 heart, this is probably worth it. But otherwise, like, I don't know. I mean, that scenario, you're almost never going to commit for it. Let's put it down there. Yeah, same with Sack Dagger. I mean, Sack Dagger is really great, but I'm not going to take it as my first devil item. It's not that good. Doesn't do enough for you. Sanguine Bond. What the hell is this? This item sucks so bad. You're not gonna pay a heart for this, man. This is garbo. You pay a heart to give this more health when you're committing to devil for it. If you're committing to devil for it, you're not gonna be giving the stupid spikes health. You're gonna be saving the health to buy more devil deals. You have to have such a specific synergy type deal for this to make any sense. Like, you'd have to have a Bone Heart and a Queen of Hearts or something like that. Like, it's so bad, man. This item sucks. Satanic Bible. This definitely goes in want. I mean, Satanic Bible, this wins you the entire run. The amount of health generation this gives you, I mean, this is typically giving you at least 2 black hearts every single floor. It's nuts. This item is so good. Almost every time I see this in the Devil Room, even if I have nothing, I'm taking this, because this gets you to the end. Having that health is so good. I mean, it's kind of the same as Guppy's Paw. The health generation this gives you is so freaking nuts. And it makes it more possible to buy other devil deals, but honestly, you don't even need to. You just need the health gen. This thing is insane. Shade is pretty bad. I do like Shade a lot, but the main value you're gonna get out of Shade is like spawning with it on Eden. If you're seeing this in the first Devil Room, you're not gonna buy this. I mean, paying a heart for it, and then it's like significantly worse in caves compared to Chapter 1. I don't know. This ain't it. Sister Maggie, I mean, this is pretty similar to Brother Bobby, I would say. I don't think it's quite as good. I think Brother Bobby is a bit more consistent as far as DPS goes, because Brother Bobby shoots faster and has weaker tiers. This shoots slower and has stronger tiers. I don't know which one has higher DPS, admittedly. I think they're similar, aren't they? But yeah, I would put these above like Ghost Baby, Demon Baby. Like, this is pretty solid DPS if you're already committed to Devil Rooms. It's definitely gonna help you out. Spirit of the Night. I mean, this is better than Lord of the Pit, because it gives Spectral. I'm willing to put this in good. I think the Spectral is enough that this is like doing quite a bit for you, I would say, compared to Lord of the Pit. Man, Lord of the Pit is just like so garbo. I don't understand this item at all. But Spirit of the Night, I can respect Spirit of the Night. This is pretty decent, actually. Succubus, dude, this familiar slaps. I almost want to put this in want. I think this is the best familiar in the Devil Pool, man. This familiar is so good. I mean, like, compared to Little Brim, it's pretty expensive, but it's so much better. The room clear this gives you is so nuts. It has such a huge AoE, and it just flies around, bouncing around, killing everything. I don't care that much about the damage buff it gives you while you're inside of it. If I'm like, even in a boss fight, I'm not specifically like trying to stay inside of it. If it's near me, maybe I'll shift my positioning a little bit just to be in it for a moment, but I'm not like following it around because I want to not take damage. I love this thing. I don't think it's quite good enough to go up here, but man, this is one of the better 2-heart deals, I would definitely say. I mean, compared to Incubus, dude, it's not even a contest. This is so much better. Like, are you kidding me? Sulfur? I like Sulfur. I'm putting this in good. 3-room charge, 1 heart cost, Heart Leviathan. Like, just using this for bosses is really, really nice, admittedly. I like Sulfur quite a bit. There's a decent amount of times where I'll just buy this. I love Sulfur. Definitely putting this in good. Book of Belial? Dude. What the hell is this? Oh my god. Why? No. Just no. Just like, what? Okay, this one I can respect a little bit, actually. Out of all the books, Necronomicon is like, okay. This can save you quite a bit of health just by using it as a panic button in rooms. Okay, this makes more sense to get, but the rest of these books are like, dude, you're not paying for these. You're getting a part bookworm from these. You don't care about your health. Just don't even pretend. The Mark? I mean, this is another one of those. This is the definition of the perfect item if you're already committed to devils. I mean, you're trading a red heart for a black heart, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. You're getting speed, you're getting damage. I mean, this is the perfect item to take if you're already committed, but I wouldn't necessarily commit to Devil for this because it doesn't do enough, like, by itself to warrant that. Yeah, if you're already committed, this is great. Like, this is pretty much an always buy in my eyes. I don't think there's, like, a single time I've been committed to Devil and I see this and I don't take it. The nail is pretty bad, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you compare this to Satanic Bible, having half the health generation is rough. I mean, it only costs 1 heart, which is cool, but man, like, using this for health gen, it's not doing that much for you. I would almost never buy this. The only time I buy this, really, is if I'm close to Leviathan. I'm almost never taking this. Like, it gives you Stompy for the room, it gives you damage for the room, it gives you half a black heart. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm underrating this, but I feel like this ain't it. I would almost rather just keep a different active item at that point. The Pact. This item is overrated as fuck, dude. This is one of the most overrated Devil items. I don't get it. The damage up this gives you is relatively small. The tears up is decent. It's 2 red hearts. 2. Why does this cost 2? You're paying 2 red hearts for 2 black hearts. Most of the time, this is doing, like, nothing, man. Like, if you're already committed, this is usually worth it, but, if you're seeing this in your first Devil room and you're taking this by itself without anything else, you're dumb as hell. I'm sorry, man. I won't even sugarcoat it. This is overrated. This is not it. It's part Leviathan. Oh, wow. This sucks. Twisted Pair. Alright. I mean, this is the same as Incubus. Everything I said about Incubus applies exactly the same to this. In fact, I prefer Incubus because Incubus is easier to aim on small targets. Incubus, it's behind you, you can adjust its positioning, you can hit a small target. With Twisted Pair, if you're shooting at, like, a Globlin or something like that, their tears are just going right past his shoulders, dude. They are hitting nothing. It is so bad. If you're half decent at aiming with following familiars, Incubus is almost always better. I genuinely believe that. But they're similar enough that, yeah, they just go in the same boat, the same argument. This relies way too much on your tears. Your tears, if they're bad, you're paying 2 hearts for, like, a familiar that's, like, worse than Brother Bobby. Like, what the hell is this? Or, like, as good as Brother Bobby, basically. For twice the price. Committing to Devil, like, dude, no. No, these suck. These are win more items. The definition of it. If you're struggling and weak, these are not it. Vengeful Spirit. I do like this. The nice thing about Vengeful Spirit is the wisps disappear every floor, but they are unkillable. So if you even have, like, a couple wisps, they do fat damage. The tears are good. The fact that the wisps don't die is so crazy, man. Like, I'm almost always taking this if I'm always on Devil already. This can do so much for you, seriously. And you can get, like, up to 4 of them per floor, is it? They're spectral, they do decent damage. Like, I'm almost always buying this if I'm already on Devil. This thing is nice. Is it up to 6? Damn. Yeah. I do like this item quite a bit. I'm not going to commit for it specifically, but unless I have a stupid synergy, of course. Like, if I have Unicorn Stump, obviously this is game-winning, so you're always going to take it. But just by itself, I'm not going to commit for it. Void. I mean, I think Void goes in commit. Does it, though? Because the thing with Abyss is, like, Abyss, if you have a good active item, you can immediately Abyss it, and you get the... If you're buying it from the Devil Room, you can immediately Abyss that active item, and you get the Low Ghost, right? with Void, it's not always like something you necessarily want to void. It's not always an active item that's useful to void. And since it's an active item, you're not getting the stats necessarily. I'm way less likely to commit for this, I think. Like, that's a big enough difference for me. I prefer Void. I won't lie to you. As far as, like, items I like, I prefer Void, but Abyss is, like, inarguably better, I would say. I'm way less likely to commit for this. Maybe it's still, it probably still goes in commit, though. It's borderline. But I will put it in commit. Shovel... I mean, this is pretty much you're just... If your active item is on the weaker side, you're paying a heart to get an extra item every floor, which is cool. If your active item is already good, you're paying a heart to get one item immediately, and that's it. I mean, I'm almost never going to commit for this specifically. Maybe early, like, if this is basement 2, and I have a decent amount of health, and I'm fine committing to Devil, maybe I would buy it, but that doesn't sound like me. I would probably almost never get this as my first Devil. And this item is Doo-Doo. Like, this is one that is actually, like, surprisingly overrated, I would say. Or of Babylon. Like, it does a lot when it's active, but the requirements for staying active are so specific. And throughout the run, you're actively working, if you're playing optimally, you're actively working against keeping it active. Because you want to be picking up red hearts. You want to stay healthy. Especially if you're taking this from a devil room, you want to be getting the red hearts. Like, you are actively working against keeping this active. This is not good. Really, really is not. And that is everything, I think. There might be a couple things I've missed. I'm not sure what items have been added. If any have been added to the devil pool. So, maybe I'll make a correction in the comments, the pinned comment, if it's relevant enough that I want to, like, include that. But off the top of my head, I can't think of, like, anything that was added that's super relevant that I would want to include here. So this is pretty much the list. You can see the want tier and the commit tier are very small. And these are the tiers that would make me go devil in the first place. I mean, this is exactly why I almost never go devil while Eden streaking. Because health is just valuable. You pretty much don't want to be peeking that first devil room if you can reasonably get to the first angel room. Getting free stuff from angel rooms is just better than paying for, like, the same strength or even weaker stuff in the devil room. Free is better. And angels allow you to stack health higher and higher and higher with no down, like, you don't have to pay health for it. Compared to devils, where the more devil rooms you get, the lower health you're getting. And it whittles you down by itself in order for you to become strong. It's just not, it's not the best. But regardless, this is what we're working with. You can flame me in the comments for putting Incubus and Twisted Pair so low. I won't get mad, I know, but you are wrong. Alright, thanks.